guys, I'm Rosemary from The Busy Budgeter, and I'm here today to tell you about something called Credit Sesame. Credit Sesame is an app that we use to track your credit score over time. So obviously credit scores are super important for a couple of reasons. There's two major reasons. Either you're trying to pay off debt and you're kind of in a hot financial mess and you want to see how your credit score is changing as you dig your way out of it. As you're paying off your debt, and you are able to make some progress on your credit score rises, you're actually eligible for usually loans with better terms, meaning getting out of predatory loans, paycheck loans or payday loans, loans with interest rates of 24-25%. So once your credit score gets higher, you can actually refinance those loans or roll it over to like a different loan with a much lower interest rate. So it can really help you make some progress in your debt repayment. The other thing that you would want to monitor your credit score for is if you have something that you want to be purchasing that you're going to be using credit for. So, and this doesn't even necessarily mean credit like a mortgage or a car loan. It could also just be you're trying to find an apartment and you want to kind of know what you're going to be facing. So if you have a really low credit score and you're going for an apartment, you would want to be looking for places that you're not going to have a lot of competition, meaning that if it's a townhome and you and another family are going for it and you have a 520 and they have a 750, they're almost always definitely going to choose a 750. So it might be easier for you to kind of know what to look for based on your credit score. The third reason why we should care about our credit score, credit monitoring, is that identity fraud is rampant and it's not going away anytime soon. As a matter of fact, it's probably going to be increasing. So your information is being stolen all the time in what we call data breaches. So major data breaches that have happened in the last couple of years would be Target, which was a huge one. We actually had our information stolen and we had to change some stuff in that. And then the other one, the one that just hit, is Equifax, which is your actual credit report. You can't even opt out of it. You know, at least Target, you could not use your debit card, I guess, and you could pay cash. But with your credit report, it's not even like you could do anything. So data breaches happen. They become more and more rampant. They're not going away anytime soon. And if you don't catch a identity theft pretty early on, it can lead to a lot of other problems. So if someone steals your identity and they take out a loan in your name, right, and you catch it, no big deal. You contact the credit reports. You can freeze your account. You can start to fight the loan that they took out in your name instantly, right? So if you don't notice it, right, now they default on the loan. Now you have judgments against you. Now you have your credit score is tanked. All of these other problems happen, and it can go even beyond financial. If that person is using your information for finances, why wouldn't they be using your information for crimes committed, traffic tickets, things like that? And so it could actually lead to warrants out for your arrest or, you know, a suspended driver's license, even though it wasn't you. And actually in my former life, I was a state trooper and we saw many instances of that. And they can be hard to tackle. So having an idea of what's going on with your credit report is really important at the very base level. And that's kind of what we're talking about today. Like if you're like, I kind of see the benefit of this, but I don't really have enough time to care about this, then what you would want to use is something like Credit Sesame, which kind of monitors everything and lets you know what's going on. And then they're going to send you an email alert if something weird happens. So like anytime you open up a new loan, you have a new account, anything like that, they'll just ping you and be like, hey, new loan, Wells Fargo, something like that. And you can read it and be like, wait a second, I didn't open a Wells Fargo account. And then you can go in and look at it. But for the most part, you don't even have to use it if you're not actively trying to monitor or increase your credit score. You can just kind of keep it up running in the background and know that they'll email you to let you know like something weird is happening. So that's the credit monitoring aspect. The nice part about Credit Sesame is it's 100% free. They don't take any payment information at all. And when you set it up, it takes like 15 seconds. So if you were to if you were to watch this video and be like, you know, that sounds like a really good idea, I'm going to do that. And you go sign up for Credit Sesame and you don't think anything about it again. Like a couple of days later, you don't even remember why you should be monitoring your credit report. The nice thing about Credit Sesame is that let's say in a couple of months, you get an alert that says you open up an account at Wells Fargo, but you didn't actually. And you're like, wow, that's really weird. And you go into Credit Sesame and you look and you're like, oh my gosh, I really didn't do that. It has free identity theft insurance involved in their free membership, which is pretty much unheard of. These are the only guys that does this, and it's up to $50,000. So now, because you've signed up months and months ago, you know that the identity theft has occurred far before it's any major consequence to you. And two, you actually now have an insurance policy that you never had to pay for that can help you fight the fraud, meaning that rather than you spending all of this time and effort into doing this, you have an insurance policy that can pay an attorney to go after and fix this for you. So, and all because you spend 15 seconds signing up for free. Not a bad deal, right? Now there's a couple, the other big major, Credit Sesame is not the only company that does this. Credit Karma is the other major one. Those are the two like front runners for free credit monitoring. Neither require payment up front. Pretty much everybody else does require you to put it in a credit card, and then if you don't cancel by a certain date, they're going to run it through. You don't want that. It's not worth it, and it's very unlikely you're going to remember to cancel. So Credit Karma and Credit Sesame are both 100% free. They don't require any payment at all. We much prefer Credit Sesame just because of the extra $50,000 of identity theft insurance. It is an actual insurance policy. The biggest drawback to that insurance policy is because it's free, most people don't even realize that they have it. So print it out and put it with your other insurance paperwork if you have it, or if not, just try to remember that this is a thing. So most people sign up for Credit Sesame just to get the credit monitoring or to see what their credit score is, and they don't actually take the time to be like, oh, look at this cool insurance policy they're including for free. Which, if you actually have an issue, would suck because you have $50,000 of that insurance for free, and now you don't know about it, so you can't use it. So the only other thing that you should know about Credit Sesame is that it's considered to be a FICO score versus FICO. So the super complicated way of looking at this is that most lenders that are actually going to pull your credit report use something called a FICO score, which can be a little bit misleading because even though it's called a FICO score, there's actually over 60 different FICO scores that they can pull, and each of those numbers would be a little bit different. Anything that is not from myfico.com, which costs $60 to pull your FICO score, and again, we don't know that that's the exact score that the lender would be using, is $60, right? So Credit Karma cannot give you your actual FICO score because they're not FICO, but they're also free. They're typically very close. So it's considered to be a FICO score, which is kind of like it's like a fake FICO score. It's considered to be educational. It means that if your score is 720 and you go to get a loan and your loan says you're 735 or it's like 698, like it can absolutely be different. It's kind of the best resource that we have because we don't know what score lenders are going to be using. We know that they're likely going to be using FICO, but we don't know which of the 60 that they're going to get. So it's kind of like you can't really know for certain what your credit score is going to be before you go to get a loan. For most people, this isn't a big deal. If you are right on the cusp of qualifying for like a mortgage or something like that, that may be a big deal. But for most people, that's not an issue. And it's certainly not worth paying $60 for a FICO score. And again, you still don't know if that's the one that your lender is going to look at. And then if you wait a couple of months, your score could be completely different because it doesn't have monitoring. So FICO scores are pretty much the best in the business to kind of monitor what's going on with your credit report. And then again, with the insurance policy and everything else, Credit Sesame is kind of what we've been using for years, and we're huge fans of it. So the way that they monetize, first of all, they are completely safe. They use the same encryption that banks use, and I don't know how many millions of members they have, but they're very popular. They're kind of like one of the two big companies. It's Credit Karma and Credit Sesame. So they use bank encryption technology. They're as safe as you can be in today's society. Keep in mind though, like Equifax just had a data breach, which is, I mean, that's the safest of the safe, and even they got hit. So that being said, it's nice that they do have the insurance policy if there is an issue. The other thing that you should know about is how they monetize, right? Because anything that's given to you for free, there's always some way that someone is making money on this. Otherwise, how could they possibly do it? It's not like a nonprofit. So the way that they monetize is Credit Sesame, because they know all of your credit information, they know what your score is, they know what your history is, they can actually serve as a matchmaking service for if someone is looking for a loan. So like if you were looking to get a mortgage, because they know all about you, they can be like, well, here are the mortgages that you will actually qualify for, and then they'll give you a quick comparison of what they are. A lot of people think that's very helpful because it's like, well, great, now I know, who not to apply for and get turned down for. I know who I'm going to say yes to. The problem with that, so they get an affiliate commission off of that. So they match you with all these different things, and then if you choose one of those products, they'll get an affiliate commission based on that. So that's how they monetize their business. And normally that's a good thing. Like the reader really appreciates it because they know not to waste time going after something they're not going to get approved for. And Credit Sesame is able to make a thriving business out of it. The only times that becomes a really bad thing is if you are the type of person that has struggled with debt and credit card debt and you can't handle the temptation of being offered credit cards. So if that is you, I would sign up for the identity theft protection and then just not ever open the emails unless it says like, you open a new account. That being said, if you think even that is going to be too much, then I would say just skip this and get a paid credit monitoring service, which normally costs between $15 to $20 a month. So I hope that helps. We've used it for years. We're big fans. And if you guys have any questions, let me know and we can do another video or a follow-up video, or I can just answer them in the comments. Okay, thanks. Bye.